What we did when we started early last year, was have a wider community network meeting and say to people, first of all, started with what's special about this place, so they really start to think not about what are my values, what do I stand for, but actually what's special about this place, get their mind into that, and then and have that meeting in the town centre, and then work out, what are our priorities for it, have some sort of discussion, ideas, kind of theming things, voting on that, and then so anything that I do, my budget and so on, is related to then what came out of that, and there was so many different groups at these meetings, multiple, in my two town centres there's a gazillion groups, so they were pretty well all represented. And then whenever we do something, and that's with the groups or city-led, because stuff in the plan, some of it had to be city-led, some of it is both, then the funding is always tied to that, and that's also consistent messaging through PR or whatever, is this came out of what you told us, this is why we're doing it. And if we're checking back in, it's in that context again, if we're checking back in with you about that. So people seem to understand that. I think this is kind of a challenge for some people, but I think you have to really let go of any urge to inflict your vision or taste on other people. So you've got to let go of that. But at the same time, I think it's very satisfying to instead really tap into what is that essence of the place, and that's related to the people as well. I don't think they can be separated. So that's very exciting once you get that sense and you build that, and that takes time, but once you get that and then you feel that sense of authenticity, and I think people respond to that because they know that's what's driving the vision. So it's more of a value than a design, I think. So I think you have to be relaxed in the way of letting go of that desire to control. And I think you have to really listen. You listen and then go away and really think about it, because you'll be hearing a whole load of different stuff and you won't be able to give everybody what they want. But really listen to everybody and then give it a bit of time and let it sink in, and things will start to become apparent as to, okay, that's where we should put some energy, that's where I also think my way of operating is go where the energy is. You have to do that, and otherwise, there's things you should do or people complain that you're not doing, but if the energy is not there, it's not really going to work. So you have to follow that, and often then that's when you set a good example and other people see that and go, I'm starting to get that, maybe I'll get on board now. I think it's partly disposition, so some of it is, I think I do think quite deeply, or listen and absorb things. But then I'd say I'm quite sensitive, so I do find some of that, public criticism difficult. But I also think you get used to it, and relationships change, and there's the next thing that changes, and people forget about that or they move on. I think you can be I've kind of learned you can be strategic about it though. Like, say you're doing something that is kind of risky, that could backfire, that people might, if you've got another project that's just about ready, then if that that fails and you're getting some bad press about it, give it a week or something, and then the next week, vroom, bring that one in. It's ready, and people will look the other way and they'll be thinking about that. There's partly like a PR thing to it. It really is. So I think you can minimise your own stress by a bit of forward planning, which is hard because I find it's a very busy job, so you don't always have enough time to plan as beautifully as you would like to. But putting those little protective mechanisms in will definitely help a lot.